Traveler here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would be so kind, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you know when we go live or upload videos like this, bringing you information. So ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit about what's going on. This past weekend, the Radiance of the Seas had over 90 passengers and crew confirmed sick of the norovirus. So I want to take a little time to talk about it, and it kind of brought this back to me because we just got off of the Carnival Sunrise not too long ago, and I was kind of shocked at how many new cruisers I saw. A lot of blue cards on the Carnival ship, right? So I really want to bring this home to the new cruisers, as well as giving some reminders to us veteran cruisers that are out there, because sometimes we just get complacent. We had a lot of safety protocols and health protocols in place following COVID, and we were really being careful on things and trying to make sure we weren't sick. And you know, we're kind of back to normal now, and we kind of let things go back, and you know, our habits may not be as good. So let's talk a little bit about some of the options that we have and talk a little bit about what's going on. So a cruise ship is required to report an illness or outbreak if 3% or more of passenger and crew become ill. So far in 2025, there have been 6 confirmed outbreaks. Most are norovirus. There was one Silver Sea, which is a smaller ship, which did have an E. coli breakout on board their vessel. So, but the common thing here is the norovirus. But outside of that, I mean, you think about it, there's a really bad flu going around the United States right now that I've heard about. And I saw a ton of people on the ship sick, sniffling, coughing, all that stuff. And I'm just like, I was hoping and praying I didn't get sick, but I was using some of these measures that we're going to talk about to try to avoid that. I mean, I literally, when somebody sneezes anywhere near me, I literally hold my breath and try to get away because I don't want to breathe in any of that particles and get sick. So let's talk a little about what we can do. So the number one thing you want to bring with you on the cruise is to bring hand sanitizer. You can't bring enough of it with you. And just, you know, make sure you get the small travel size ones. They have ones, Elle has some that sprays and it clips right onto her bag so we can take it with us when we get off the ship, go to the beach. But make sure it's small enough where you can stick it in your pocket or stick it into the bag where it's not going to be obtrusive for you, but you're able to have it at a moment's notice. Now, nothing beats health and safety than washing your hands thoroughly whenever you can, right? So, but the sanitizer should be a backup thing. But personally, I usually, you know, I wash my hands thoroughly and I hit it with the sanitizer too when I'm on these ships. Like, I'm overcautious with this, but I haven't gotten sick either, so maybe it's a good thing. Definitely bring enough sanitizer with you. Definitely wash your hands as often as you can, definitely before eating. Try to avoid touching things that are commonly touched, like the handrails, which I know you're on a moving ship and sometimes the waves are going, you have to grab them. But try to avoid touching those common surfaces like the doors. You know, sometimes I will go to the door and I'll have some napkins in my pocket, and I'll use that to open up doors, or I'll even ball up my shirt and use my shirt to pull open a door if I have to. When you get on the elevator, you're going to the elevator, knuckle the buttons. You know, don't push it, knuckle the buttons to get where you need to go. That avoids you touching this, you know, your hands there. And really probably the hardest thing to do, because we kind of do it subconsciously, is you really have to avoid like touching your face, right? So rubbing your eye or getting anywhere near, scratching your nose or something like that, or some people pick their nose, whatever. You want to try to avoid that when you're on the ship, especially if you don't, you know, you haven't, you know, washed or sanitized your hands in a while. That's how you get sick so quick. You have some on your hands, and you don't even think about it. You rub your eye, it's in your system. And I know it's hard to do because you don't really think about it, but you have to kind of be consciously thinking when you go to the cruise, you know, let me not touch my face and go in here. You know, just definitely have that sanitizer on you if you have to itch or something. So anyway, and then also make sure that you bring cold and flu medicine with you on board the ship. get the brand that you like, that you know that works for you. Different medicines work different for different people. You may even want to bring something like a sinus medicine and bring a cold medicine just in case maybe you get a sinus infection, because sometimes that'll happen. It happens to me all the time. Going in the air conditioning, out in the heat, in and out, in and out. You can definitely get a sinus infection that way. But bring the medicine with you so you'll have it. And I'd rather have it and not need it, right? Because it's expensive on the ship and they may not have the brand that works for you. So make sure that on your to-do list, on your checklist when you're packing, bring some cold flu medicine with you. And another thing to consider, and this will be our last point for the video, is travel insurance. Because if you have to make a trip down to the medical unit on board that cruise ship, it can be very expensive. So if you go down there and get seen, they determine you have a flu, they give you some medicine, some things like that. I mean, that bill typically, we've been with people that have, had to have gone down there, and that bill is like $500-600 to go see them. So it's definitely something that you might want to consider, is having the travel protection. At least inquire about it before you head off on your cruise. So, that extra 70 or 80 bucks might save you $600 on the trip. So just something to consider. Definitely, if you're on a longer trip and you're going to be out extensively, I would highly suggest getting the insurance. It can definitely save you big time. All right, everybody. So just remember, common sense, be safe out there. Washy people. Let's keep it safe. Let's keep it healthy. We've been on, going close to 90 cruises. I think we might have gotten sick one time, but we've never gotten like a norovirus or anything like that. We are very cautious when we're on there, constantly washing, constantly sanitizing our hands. I know it's not the best, you want to be carefree when you're on vacation, but you also want to come back from vacation well rested and having had a good time and not having been sick and been laid up in your cabin for 2 or 3 days. So let's take those precautions ahead of time so that you can enjoy making those memories. And ladies and gentlemen, if we can help you create some memories, make sure you give us a call, 877-697-4470, or you can book right online, www.mr-traveler.com. I want to thank you so much for watching. Remember, life's short. Have fun. See the world. Bye, everybody. Be safe.